All right, so for this adjustment, since I have it, it's the Park Tool DT-2. We got two sides to use. Either this one here, it's going to be used like so, or we can use the other end like so right there. So if your rotor has spokes very similar to a bicycle or bicycle wheel, we got a spoke here, spoke here, spoke here. A lot of times you can have some variety on how you go ahead and straighten this. So I can either use this side, come in from the top, put it at the end of the rotor, give it a bend, and notice how I'm doing it very gently. You want to start out very light, give it a check, give it a spin, see if it helped. If it didn't, then you know you got to bend it a little more. The other option is to use this end on the actual spoke here of the rotor, inside like that, down or up in this position. So that's going to also put a bend in it too. So you can experiment, see which works best, and that's exactly what I'm going to do here. All right, so the way we're going to start is we're just going to give this wheel a spin. Whatever you do, just stay away from this rotor. Do not try and spin the wheel using the rotor. These things are sharp, they're very unforgiving, they will try and cut your finger off. I'm going to go ahead and look for that rub and try and rotate the wheel going forward like you were rolling on the bike going forward. Otherwise you're going to activate the cranks and we're going to get some extra noise that you don't need. So right there we got some rub. So okay, we want to find the beginning. And I'm just giving it a real light push, letting it stop on its own. Boom, right there. So I'm going to say roughly that's the beginning. Feeling resistance there. I'm going to go ahead and rotate. We're going to see that whole distance. Lots of rub, and then we want to feel when it releases. And see right about there. So right there it got free. I'm going to do a gentle roll back, let it stop on its own. See right about there. So I'm going to rotate this back towards me. Just keeping a rough eye on that rotor. We're going to say maybe right about here, right in this little divot. So I'm going to put a mark there. So here's my mark here, from my finger to my thumb. That's my rub. All right, so to help you better understand of what we're looking for, again, I'm standing right behind the bike, got a real close-up shot. Here's the rotor, this guy here. Over on the right side, this red portion over here, that's the edge of my brake pad. So this side is very tight. There's the shiny red is the actual steel backing, and then there's the brake pad material that's bonded to the metal. And so that brake pad material is touching, it's actually touching, there's no daylight, I can't see anything between it, it's a very tight fit. So very tight on this side. So if we go look on the other side of the rotor, over here, daylight there, so I'm going to put my hand in front of it. So right there you could actually see my finger or my ring on the other side, so that's telling me there's a gap there. So we're definitely rubbing on the right side, so that means this rotor needs to be bent over to the left side, getting away from that rub, going closer to where the spacing is. Ultimately we want to see equal spacing on both sides, so we can see a little bit of daylight here and a little bit of daylight here. We're going to be in good shape. So in this case black is a little hard to see, I can still find it. So that's my top to here. So boom, there to there. I'm going to say roughly right about there is my middle. So that's one thing we can try. We can try dividing that guy in half. We can go ahead and use this end, give it some gentle bend. You want to do enough bend where you can physically see that bend, but you don't want to overdo it. So you're just going to do a little at a time, give it a check, and then go back again, do more of a bend if nothing happened. So then you can just get a feel of how this guy bends. So I'm just going to do a bend that way, and we'll see what kind of results we get, hopefully. Pressure-wise, so the resistance kind of feels the same. So that was one method, again. So I'll show you a different method. Again, here's one end, here's the other. So right here to here. So instead of dividing it and using it right here in the middle, I think what we're going to do is, here's a spoke here, spoke, spoke, spoke. So there's actually kind of lines up on a perfect area. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I'm going to do is I think I'm going to grab these two spokes in the middle. And I'm going to use this other end here. That's going to apply right on there. This may not work for all rotors because not all rotors will be designed like this with nice big openings in between the spokes. So by using that guy, we will still want to flex out this way towards the camera. So that means I'm going to have to push on this guy, which will give me a flex. So I'm going to do a gentle flex on one, go to the next one, gentle flex on the second one. Now I can stop there or I can continue to do all four, but I'm going to try those two and see what I get. They're just doing a light spin. That actually helped quite a bit. Looks like it's spun through there, spun through that section that I marked without any nasty rubs. So actually I'm going to give this wheel a good spin. Not too hard. So if there's something light, we'll be able to find it. It's actually spinning pretty darn good. This doesn't always happen. The wheel is cooperating. The rotor's cooperating with me on this one. If you're getting a pretty good spin, you're not getting any real nasty drag, now you can just listen if you really want to fine tune this guy, but sometimes you just got to stop right there. These disc brake systems, they can be pretty finicky. A lot of times if you get it 75, 80, 90%, you might want to just stop there. A lot of times it may correct itself when you go for a ride. You go right and put some weight on it, hit the brakes. Things may change or settle in for the better, and it might just be perfect. That little rub that you heard in the repair stand, you may not hear that out on the trail, so it's okay. You're not going to cause any problems by having a slight rub. It's all mental. If you feel that it's really slowing you down, what I'd like to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to double check. I'm going to stand right here behind the bike, looking directly right in here at the rotor, looking on the left and right side, and you're going to put yourself in that position where you can see a little bit of daylight between that rotor and between those brake pads. So I'm going to give it a push forward and placing my hand on the frame to steady the frame, but watching your fingers. And what I'm seeing is the rotor is kind of staying in the middle, going a little bit to the left, big wave over to the right, but fortunately there's enough space in there when that rotor does go over to the right, there's no rub. Have fun, good luck. If you like what you hear, like what you see, go ahead and hit subscribe, hit like, and if you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment, or if you have any possible things you want me to cover, you got some other issues going on with any other part of the bike, go ahead and shoot me a comment. I'll try to do my best to try and address it and probably make a video for you. All right, thanks.